Okay, so last Monday I told you that early voting has started. You can now go and vote for Beto O'Rourke in Texas. You can go and vote for Stacey Abrams against Brian Kemp in Georgia, and there's lots of other places. Early voting is happening here in Massachusetts as well. You might remember, if I call your attention to Election Day 2012, that I had stories of voting machines flipping votes from Barack Obama to Mitt Romney. And we now have reports out of Texas and Georgia that say that it is happening again. Multiple Democratic voters reporting that in Texas, they tried voting for the Democrat Beto O'Rourke, but the machines selected Ted Cruz or left their vote for U.S. Senate blank. There is one complaint which says that the opposite happened, that they were trying to vote for Ted Cruz and it was somehow flipped to Beto O'Rourke. The overwhelming majority of the complaints relate to people trying to do a party line vote where you basically press a button and select all Democrats or all Republicans, which, by the way, I am against, but it's not really the topic of this story. Supposedly, this is a technical glitch that happens when you turn a selection dial at the same time that you hit the enter button. But the weird thing, if we are to believe that explanation, is that the voting machines that are being used in the counties that are having these issues reported are actually used in 82 counties. And what that doesn't really explain is why are the problems only in 6 counties if it is a known issue with turning the dial and pressing enter at the same time. Wouldn't some people by chance in all 82 counties be doing that? So that doesn't really make sense. That's Texas. Then we've got Georgia. And Georgia we've been talking about a lot because Georgia is where Secretary of State Brian Kemp, a Republican, is running for governor at the same time. He has been purging voters. He has been reducing early voting hours. He has been eliminating polling places altogether, of course, in disproportionately black and or poor and or Democratic areas. And there is now a report which says that votes for Democratic candidate Stacey Abrams have been switched to Republican Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp says it's not happening. It's voter error. It's people who don't know what they're doing. And it is also simultaneously being chalked up to old voting machines. And this is just something that's stunning. Some of the old voting machines in use in Georgia aren't supported by the manufacturers anymore, meaning that when there's an issue, the manufacturer says, that's not a machine that's like our current suite of machines, so we don't provide support for it anymore. There should be a law banning the use of unsupported machines, full stop. Now, I know. You'll say the companies making them will stop supporting them just to make everybody buy new voting machines. Well, that's really simple to solve. When you do a contract with a municipality, with a voting location, to buy their voting machines, you get the voting machine manufacturer to agree that they will support that machine for at least X number of years. This is voting. This is one of the most important things we do. And the idea that we should just accept, well, listen, those voting machines aren't supported anymore, and there's really nothing that we can do. That is disgusting and it's a joke. And every single contract should say you must agree to support the voting machines for as long as they determine they want to do it. Now, we also have an issue here related to the Voting Rights Act, which is that both Texas and Georgia, the 2 states we're talking about here, used to be jurisdictions covered by Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which meant that anytime they were going to make changes to how voting was being done, they were required to obtain pre-clearance from the federal government in order to ensure that what they were doing wasn't going to disproportionately discriminate against minorities. Why were they required to do that? Because of their history of setting up voting in a way that discriminated against minorities. Now, in 2013, the Supreme Court made a decision. They made a ruling which determined that those jurisdictions no longer need to pursue that pre-clearance unless they've been given a specific court order for specific changes. And now we find ourselves 5 years after that decision, in 2018, after the 2013 Voting Rights Act Supreme Court ruling, and at least 2 of the jurisdictions that previously required pre-clearance to make the types of changes that they've been making now have voting systems that in practice appear to be benefiting Republicans and are being targeted to disadvantage rural, non-white, Democratic-leaning, and disproportionately poor voters. Is anybody shocked? Anybody shocked that that's what's going on? And unfortunately, even my reporting of this might discourage voters who might hear me say votes are being flipped, and then they say my vote now is, I already was wondering if my vote would even matter. Now I know it won't matter because the machine will just flip it. So what you need to do is, number one, slow down when voting. Number two, look very carefully at each selection that you are making. Verify that the machine registered the vote the way you intended to make it, and then report all irregularities. Film it, depending on legality. I know that not all states allow you to film you submitting your ballot. If you feel strongly enough that something is going on that you want to risk illegally filming your own ballot, that is up to you. I don't recommend illegal activity, but I'm just saying voting is pretty damn important, because those videos of machines malfunctioning in this way get attention, and they get very quick attention, and you send them to me, okay? If that happens and you get it on video and you send it to me, I will report on it. Make sure you are following the show on Instagram at David Pakman Show. Follow me on Instagram at david.pakman as well. One of today's sponsors is Skillshare, which is an amazing online learning community that offers thousands of high-quality classes on almost any topic. The first 500 people who click the link under this video will get 2 entire months of totally free access to every single class offered by Skillshare. They've got classes on everything from design, video editing, photography, business, technology, cooking, meditation, even classes on personal productivity. I know you'll be able to find something on Skillshare that fascinates you, or even something that will help you in your everyday life. Classes are taught by real people who care about what they're teaching. I just took a really great class on more advanced video editing techniques. The David Pakman Show is giving you 2 months of free access to every class they offer when you click the link under this video. Think about everything you'll have at your fingertips for 2 whole months, totally free, hard to beat. And after that, if you like it, you can keep access to every class on Skillshare for under $10 a month, one of the most affordable learning platforms out there. Just click the link under this video to redeem your 2 free months of Skillshare, but hurry, it's only available to the first 500 who sign up.